Hi, everyone. Welcome to 6 Tips to Ease Your Child's Back to School Anxiety. My name is Dr. Colleen Belmonte, and I am from Behavior Bosses. So we're featuring this webinar today. I hope you enjoy. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to click right down here, and that will take you to our website at behaviorbosses.com. Or if you have any questions, you can email us at behaviorbosses@gmail.com. So the purpose of this webinar today is to provide you with the tools to ease your child's anxiety and to increase one's independence to ensure a smooth start to the school year. The agenda for today is we'll review some expectations, some signs that your child may be anxious about returning to school, different tips to ease your child's anxiety and increase independence, when to seek assistance, and who to contact for assistance. So the expectations, we can expect that our children are going to experience anxiety returning to school. There are many different things going on right now, and some possible reasons are that our children are used to being home with their parents now. So that increases the fear that either other people or environments may not be as safe or comfortable. Children are often always reminded not to get too close to other people, keep your mask on, use sanitizer, wash your hands. As Dr. Louie would say, there's just anxiety in the air. And I think kids feel that. I think they are wondering, are we sure it's safe to go back? And are other people safe? And is it safe to touch this? So when our children are constantly thinking in their head and questioning, should they do this? Can they touch this? Can they go this close to this person? Can they talk to a peer without a mask on? It does heighten their anxiety a little bit, and anxiety may result in some disruptive or challenging behaviors. So here are some signs that your child may be experiencing some anxiety about separating from you and going back to school. So they may experience some stomach aches or saying that they're feeling ill. They may have tantrums when they're leaving you, whether that is to go to a friend's house, whether that's to go to some type of practice, anything. And then also refusal to attend activities alone. Difficulty sleeping, especially alone, but a lot of times children have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep the entire night when they're experiencing anxiety. One of the main things too is difficulty separating from parents just to attend school, and avoidance of normal activities. If your child really loves soccer or really loves going to chess practice, and all of a sudden they're starting to avoid those things, that may show that they're anxious as well. Or they may just verbalize and tell you, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to be away from you. I'm scared. So these are all things that your child may be experiencing, and then we need to do some things about them. So here are some tips to ease your child's anxiety before they start school. And I'll get into each one a little bit more in detail, but getting into a routine, arranging play dates, visiting the school before the school year begins, validating feelings, teaching skills to ease anxiety and function independently, and praising and rewarding. So the first tip is getting into a routine. As we all know, a routine is predictable. It helps children to feel secure, just as it helps us to feel secure. If they know, okay, I always do this, and every time I do this, this comes next. When that happens in school, they know maybe they have their reading period, and then they have their writing period after, and then comes snack. And maybe snack's what they're really looking forward to, or recess is what they're really looking forward to. When they know what to expect, it helps them to ease their anxiety and make them feel more secure. So really a week or two before school, which is right now, you want to start preparing your child for the upcoming transition back to school and getting into some predictable routines. So having a realistic wake up and bedtime. You don't want to, for the first day of school, suddenly wake your child up at 6:30 in the morning and it's the first time that they're doing it. You want to make sure that they're set in that routine at least a week or two before school, that they have a realistic bedtime. If they usually have been over the summer, maybe going to bed at 9 o'clock, you might want to decrease that to 8 o'clock so that your child gets plenty of sleep in the morning and they're prepared for school. Even some things as selecting the clothes for the next day. Those are things that could be done at night and you're getting into that routine, or picking out your snack for the next day. Those are all things that can be done to help your child prepare to get into a routine for school. The next thing that you want to do with helping to incorporate a routine is practicing separation and building that into your routine. So you may want to start small and build tolerance to increase independence. For example, you may say, okay, play in your room by yourself while mommy or daddy cooks dinner, or while mommy or daddy's on a work call, go ahead and play in your room by yourself. It's giving them time alone and time that they have to figure things out on their own or play by themselves. Also, maybe leaving your child with a babysitter for a few hours, or having play dates. That's giving them time and slowly increasing the amount of time that they have to be on their own and independent, or even with others, but it's not you all the time. Here you can click this activity schedule, and it's from Behavior Interventions and Solutions. They did an amazing job with this, so we wanted to share it. And there are also some sample activity schedules here. So really getting your child into a routine of having breakfast at a certain time, having some maybe free play, getting them used to doing some learning activities, you know, whether that's doing some reading, doing some writing, doing some math, preparing them for those types of things that they're going to have to do in school. And then maybe having snack at a time that they might have it at school. So just having some predictability will help them, and routine, to get into and get ready to go back to school. The second tip is to arrange some play dates. Arranging play dates with one or more familiar peers before school starts can definitely help to decrease anxiety, because research shows that the presence of a familiar peer during school transitions can improve your child's academic and emotional adjustment. Think about ourselves. If you go somewhere and you're maybe starting a new job, but you know one person, at least you have one familiar face there that you can wave to, that you can say hello to, that maybe can help introduce you to other people. So just think about that, and maybe you might want to find out who is in your child's class. And if no one that your child knows is in the class, maybe then still have a play date with someone on their grade level, so that maybe they see them during recess or lunch or in the hallway, so they have a familiar face to wave to. The third tip is to visit the school before the school year begins. You can maybe rehearse dropping them off, whether that's that you're dropping them off or the school bus, and how they would walk into the class. And you may want to wait outside or down the hall. And if they've scheduled tours at your school already and you were unable to attend, you may want to reach out to your counselor. And if you were unable to get a tour of the school for your child, you can still spend time on the playground, maybe show them where they enter, show them where they might be having lunch or where they might play. Those are all things that can be familiar to them before they even go to school and help ease with anxiety. The fourth tip is to validate feelings. So you want to listen to your child's concerns, even if they seem, a little bit over the top. You want to make sure that you're really listening to them and expressing understanding and empathy, especially with your child going back to school. They might be really scared. They might say, I'm not sure what to do if I'm not masked and I'm near someone, because I'm always used to being masked, or I'm not used to wearing my mask, so I'm afraid to keep that on all the time. So when you are listening to your child, you want to avoid blanket reassurance statements. So saying things like everything will be fine, or there's nothing to worry about. Your child is worried. So by saying everything will be fine, really you're invalidating them and creating some doubt or uncertainty. And you think about yourself. If you as an adult have a problem and you're complaining to a friend and your friend just says to you, everything will be fine. You're like, really? You don't think there's anything wrong with what's going on? It kind of makes you double think what you're feeling. And so having that invalidating or creating doubt feeling can drive a need for further reassurance, which then can lead to excessive reassurance seeking, where your child is constantly asking if things are okay. Mom, is it okay if I go to the bathroom? Mom, is it okay if I, eat my snack now? Mom, is it okay if I watch a show now? So when children have a routine and things are predictable, they don't always feel like they need your reassurance. So instead of using those blanket statements, you want to be honest and encouraging rather than reassuring and telling them that everything is just going to be fine. So acknowledge the risks. Yes, there are risks, and yes, people are getting sick, but guess what? We're taking lots of precautions in order to reduce those risks. Explain that they should feel good about going back to school because the school really thought about all of the planning behind it. And say, I understand that you might be scared going back or that you're afraid to get sick, but guess what your school thought of and your teachers thought of? You all have to wear masks to keep all of you safe. You have to stay distance away from each other. You also have to spread out when you're having snack or removing your mask. So those are all things that people really thought about, and you have to wash your hands often. That people really thought about you and cared about you to make sure that everyone came back and everyone would be safe. So here are some ways to validate a child's feelings is really trying to encourage tolerance of uncertainty and teaching children to use the following. So you want them to learn how to use realistic thinking skills or how to problem solve. And some examples are that you can use this STEP process over here. And what that does is you can have your child say the problem, right? What is going on for them? I feel sad because, or I feel scared because I'm going to school and I don't know what to expect. I'm scared I'm going to get sick because of the coronavirus. Okay, so think of solutions. What are some things that they can do to help themselves? And explore the consequences. What could happen if I do this or if I do that? And then helping them to pick the best solution. So that's one way to kind of problem solve. Another way to problem solve is if a child's really upset, they can use a calm down board like we have here from Behavior Bosses. You can ask your child, what can you do here to calm yourself down? Or what options do we have here instead of you crying or avoiding? So maybe you want to draw out your feelings. Maybe you want to do a starfish breath. Maybe you want to play with Play-Doh or watch a mindful video or go outside. Those are all things that your child can do to kind of help calm themselves down. And you want to also help them to promote positivity. So what are you looking forward to about school? Or what did you enjoy about school today or yesterday? So that it can help them to get through the day or to help them get out the door. And then if your child does have concerns, you may want to share them with the classroom teacher and collaborate with them on problem solving. You may want to share this board with them if it works at home and say, hey, my child uses this board at home. Maybe you can try using it in school when he or she gets upset. And you can really empower your child by giving them the tools. So helping them with the STEP process or with the calm down board to identify problems and help them think through solutions and to try different things out. Maybe deep breathing works for your child, but it might not work for another child. Maybe for your child, breathing doesn't work. So they may have to do some exercising or listen to music or draw or read to help them. So every child is different, but helping them explore different options will really help. And if you click here, there are additional tools to help your child. So different activities like mindfulness, different deep breathing activities, calm down boards that you can explore with your child. The fifth tip is to teach your child skills to gain independence. And this definitely helps when your child has learned skills that they need in school and they don't have to learn them in school. They're going to feel much less anxious than a child who may not know how to tie his or her shoes or zip his or her jacket or pants. They may get a little bit more nervous because they don't know how to do the things that some of the other kids may know how to do. So teaching them self-help skills like packing or unpacking their backpack, organizing their materials. If they have to use technology in the classroom, helping them to navigate. How do I find and hand in assignments on Google Classroom? Also thinking about snack or lunchtime, teaching them how to open and close their containers or tear their packages of snacks or putting in their straw in their drink. Those are all things that your child should know how to do or know how to use a scissor to cut the top of their snack so that they don't have to worry about either asking the teacher or asking a friend how to do it. Also putting their jackets on and off, zipping or snapping their jackets and tying their shoes. Another thing for our smaller ones is personal care. So making sure that they know how to go to the bathroom on their own. They know how to wash their hands, how to dry them. Some other things you want to teach are social skills. So for example, waiting, taking turns, sharing, compromising, listening. Those are all skills that your child is going to need to know how to do in school. And you can teach them by playing a game with them, having them wait, having them take turns. They may always want to go first. Well, maybe you have to teach them and say, hey, it's my turn to go first this time. You can go first next time. So by teaching those skills may help to decrease a little bit of anxiety there. And a big one is following two-step directions. So most times your teacher isn't going to say in the class, take off your jacket, and then wait for everyone to take off the jacket. Then put your jacket on the hanger. Most times the teacher will say, okay, take your jacket off, put your jacket on the hanger, and come back to your seat. So practicing having your child follow at least two-step directions will be extremely helpful. The last type of skill you want to teach your child is coping skills. So as I mentioned before, helping to validate their feelings, but having them name emotions and talk intentionally about their emotions by saying statements like, I feel sad because, and sharing the reason why they're feeling sad, not just that they're feeling that way. And then when they're able to use the calm down board, having them say, or you say to them, when you're feeling scared or sad, let's try taking deep breaths. If you're feeling sad, what's something happy that you can think of to help cheer you up? Or if you're feeling upset or frustrated, what are strategies, remember, from your calm down board that you can use? And here are some additional ideas for coping, such as how your child can maybe take breaks or use a calm down corner or different mindfulness activities. And the last tip is to praise and reward your child. So you may want to come up with some kind of prize or rewarding activity that your child could earn when separating from mom or dad to attend school. So it might be that they go to school and that they come back, and then right when they come back, if they seem like they, were able to get off on the right foot and they went to school and they came back, great job. Here's some extra time on the iPad for the first 30 minutes or hour coming back from school. Or maybe they get a special ice cream, or maybe they have special time with parents. So here are some examples. You can click here for them, but right here are some coupons. Maybe when your child gets home, maybe the first week, every day they're earning something. Or maybe it's at the end of the week after a while. So maybe they can earn ice cream, or maybe they can earn no chores for that afternoon, or they can have a later night on a weekend, or a movie party, or date night with mom or dad. So that they're feeling special and they're feeling good about the hard work that they're doing with going to school and trying to help their anxiety a bit. Another thing is to use a reward system. And this is something you have access to it if you click here. You will see that it's a Google slide, and it just has a calendar on it. And you can create right down here a goal for your child, whatever that goal is. And did your child follow all the expectations? Did your child follow expectations but required some reminders, or didn't follow them all? So it's kind of, you could think like a stoplight. So green, yellow, or red. And what it does is it helps to show you a pattern. So here you could see this child in particular, on Monday and on Friday, they had a tougher time. So that's coming back from a weekend and Friday going into a weekend. So maybe those are harder times, or maybe something's going on throughout that day that is, making it a little bit more difficult. And then you can have rewards that go along with the whatever they earn. So say if they earned each day, if you earn green that day, you get 2 hours of screen time. If you earn yellow for that day, you get 1 hour. And if you earn red, you don't have any screen time. So it's teaching your child that when they do well and they behave well, they will get rewarded. So all of those 6 tips, I'm really hoping that for you that they'll really help. But sometimes anxiety still persists, and maybe there are times when you might need to get help. So when should you? Is when severe meltdowns at drop-off time happen for more than 2 or 3 weeks, and your child is unable to recover or even stay at school. for more than 3 to 4 weeks, then seeking help can make a huge difference. And who should you contact? You could contact the teacher, the school counselor, your pediatrician, a therapist, or child psychologist. Those are all people that would be good to contact if anxiety persists with your child. And here are all the references. Behavior Bosses is, our company. So please feel free to check out our resources, and remember, email behaviorbosses@gmail.com if you have any questions at all. Thank you for hanging in with us today, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it really useful. All right, I hope you all have a great day.